Hey, my name's Amy and welcome to Hooked on Stories. So this week my project is I'm actually testing out more yarn, and this one is definitely some yarn that I actually haven't really tried before. This is faux leather yarn from Lion Brand, and it comes in these great metallic kind of colors. So I got black, bronze and gold. I've never really used this type of yarn before, especially something almost like t-shirt yarn. So I have used a little bit of t-shirt yarn, but not that much. And I am thinking that because the metallic side is on one end and the other side is white, this might be a bit trickier where I have to fold it in half as I crochet. So I am thinking of making either a bag or a clutch, depending on how it works up and how much I am able to crochet with it. We'll see how we go. But if you like the videos that I'm making and you would like to see me do more different types of yarn reviews or anything else, please like and subscribe to this channel, Hooked on Stories, and also let me know in the comments if there's any other things that I should actually give reviews on. So, Lion Brand Faux Leather yarn, let's see how I go. Here's a close-up of the colors. And the hook size is a 10mm, so I do have my 10mm 1cm hook ready. I'm thinking that the bottom of the bag can probably be black first because I just want to see how it crochets up and not have to worry about the underside showing up. So if I started with the gold, I think I'd maybe go a bit crazy trying to make sure that the white doesn't appear. So we'll start with that and use these other colors later on for some detailing. I know that it's faux leather, but it does feel very like pleathery and has like a real plasticky kind of sound. I'm thinking to kind of fold the yarn almost in thirds, like this strip, so that the underside doesn't show up, even though the black is not as, I suppose, high stakes as the gold, because that white won't look really nice with the gold. So hopefully by the time I get to the color changes, I'll have gotten used to crocheting, folding the yarn or curling the yarn inwards. So far it is a little bit like tacky, like it kind of sticks to my hook a little bit, and I'm trying to give it a bit more room so it won't be too hard for me to go through it, because I can already tell I'm not trying to keep my tension too tight, and I'm already using a lot of force to try to just pull it through, so I might need to change up my grip a little bit. I have finished my first row. It's looking pretty cool. The good thing is I haven't had to do the folding as much using my left hand that's feeding the yarn, because it doesn't look like this because I pulled from the middle. It's actually curling around itself, and so this has been really helpful. So it's kind of been a bit speedier, but I will say that there is definitely like a lot of tension in my wrist already, so I'm having to take a lot of breaks because it is getting really stuck on my hook. I'm thinking, I don't know if it's because this hook, maybe I need a bit more space, but it could also just be because this is very sticky and it's not that helpful. So I guess if you have a hook that has slightly more of the actual hook length and I suppose the barrier and less of a handle, maybe it'd be a bit easier, because I keep getting kind of stuck because it is such thick yarn, and because it's also a little bit of like this thing that kind of sticks to itself, it can make it a bit trickier while you're crocheting. But so far it's looking okay. It's looking pretty good. I think it was by the third or fourth row crocheting with this yarn that I realized that it was not going to be the fun little experiment that I thought it was. The plan was originally to make this cool, stylish leather look tote bag, something different to the other stuff that I've made. But as soon as I got into it even further, I realized that I was going to have a lot of problems, such as a lot of fatigue and pain in my hands. So I had to take a lot of constant breaks just to massage my hands. And also it worked up very slow. So I had to crochet so slowly because the yarn would just keep sticking to my hook. I realized that if my hands were cold, so for instance, if I had just washed them, it wouldn't really stick as much. But the minute that my hands warmed up because I was crocheting, the yarn got
much harder to deal with. And even though I tried to fix my tension, I realized that if I had gotten too loose with some of my stitches, that it wasn't going to have the look that I wanted. So this probably is the slowest that I've ever crocheted since the start of me learning how to crochet. Some of the other problems that I hit, and here's a damage report. I literally almost pulled my hook out of my handle while I was trying to weave in the ends with a smaller hook. And I also broke my favorite darning needle, which kind of sucks, but you know, like there's not much else I can do. And so when I realized at this point that I wasn't going to be able to create the tote bag that I wanted, I pivoted to something a lot smaller, and I decided on a bottle holder. So it could be a wine bottle holder or a water bottle holder. And it definitely wasn't easy, but I, being the annoying completionist that I am, wanted to at least get something finished. I have been able to finish my little bottle holder bag. In terms of looks, it's definitely got a bit of a vibe, and it is pretty cool to have this leather look for my crochet, but this is easily one of the hardest yarns that I've worked with. Unless you're really wanting to have this leather look effect, or if you have cold hands or live in a colder climate, I think that the yarn could be a lot more workable, but personally, I don't know if I would recommend it unless you really need it.